Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Bulletproof Marketer. Today, we are going to be talking about AI. Ooh, hot topic, right? A lot of conversations going on about that. I'm going to talk about one of my key points to utilizing AI as an expert. This is going to be an expert tip that you can immediately utilize when you are opening up ChatGPT for the magic that it offers. But it is a different perspective, one that is directly from me, that's really going to help you power up your AI usage so that you can start cutting corners, cutting time without sacrificing quality. So that's going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But just to catch you up, it's been really great since this season so far has kicked off really strongly. So if you've missed the first two episodes, please check them out. You can check them out on anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, whatever you want. We have those episodes live for you there. And if you want the visual component, sign up to our Patreon. Nope, kidding. It's on YouTube. So you can look at our live videos or on-demand videos on our YouTube channel for my agency, the Go Agency. To get all the links to this and lots more, you can get that through our website, which is gosalesandmarketing.com, completely spelled out, Go Sales and Marketing. And while you're there, check out our AI guide. It's in a pop-up that will show up when you get there. Just give your email and we will send that over directly to you. It's an AI ebook that has tons of different prompts that will be useful for you to understand how to utilize AI in many different areas of your business. Also, I will send you a couple exclusive additional prompts afterwards, so make sure to check your emails for those. But aside from that, if you want to connect with me directly, the best way to do it is LinkedIn. So you can find me at Chris Go Media on LinkedIn or Christopher Tompkins. Find me, request me, say, hey, I was listening to your podcast. Love it. Hate it. Have a question, whatever. I'm here to help. Basically, the reason I do this show is because I want to give you no nonsense digital marketing advice without any bullshit. No bullshit. I want to be direct. I want to give you my lens on what I'm seeing out there to help you be more nimble from the mouth of a agency founder and owner of nearly 16 years. Gosh, I can't even believe it, 16 years. But anyway, I'm really excited to go through some of our great AI knowledge. So let's just jump right into it. So the first thing I wanted to do is talk through a real hot topic, which is AI as your expert North Star. Okay, so I've been a guest regularly on other podcasts as well. And I was recently on a conversation with a really great host, the Growth Signal podcast, which is really phenomenal. Her name's Alyssa. And I was talking to her about, she said, what's your hot take? And my hot take was that AI is not your 100% North Star. AI is going to be something that shapes your North Star, but isn't going to just produce it. Much like you go into Google and you say, find a restaurant near me within 5 miles. It gives you all the restaurants within 5 miles. Does it miss some? Yes. Does it order them in a very specific way? Yeah, because there's advertising and there's other things that play there. So already, in the digital world, it's like there's nepotism, right? Because there's rankings. What's more important? What's less important? What's higher? What's lower? So people are using AI like they use Google. Hey, I need to lose 5 pounds before I go to the beach next weekend. What's the best way for me to do that? It is going to give you an unknowledgeable about you, not custom solution. It's going to give you what the average is of the universe that it's looking at. Now, I don't work on averages myself. Because I consider myself above average. I love myself and I value my own opinion and my mind, but at the same time, I like consulting with people that understand who I am. So, like, just think about this. If you're going to ask someone's advice about a big life decision, are you going to go to Google and ask Google if you should do it? Or are you going to ask your parents, your family, your friends, or maybe even some peers that you have or your colleagues? These are the types of people that you would ask. And why? Because they understand you. They understand who you are, what you're about, what you like to do. So When we are going into AI and we're asking very personal questions, it doesn't know who we are. So it's giving us advice based off of the rationale of the average person that they're responding with. So if you're on ChatGPT and you're like, okay, I need a marketing plan outlook for a pet food company, Facebook only, go. What it's going to give you is a very stereotypical structure for a marketing campaign that has value in it, but is not customized to anything that has to do with that brand specifically. Also, it won't have the specifics of the maybe the target audiences or the geographical targets or any of the other things. So, one of the things that I think is really important to think about is all of that is essential to marketing correctly. So just think about this. If you're looking for a marketing expert to help you out, are you looking for them to give you like marketing 101 knowledge and spouting off tips and tactics that they can get and grab off of a newsletter that they found? No, you want something, you want to be understood. You want to be heard. You want to be replicated. And not replicated like we're cloning people up in this piece. But what I'm saying is that you want someone that understands you, that can relate. And that makes a good collaborator. So, collaboration and training is how you should be looking at your AI assistant. So, if you are using ChatGPT, going in and just saying, okay, give me this with no details, no background, it doesn't know anything about you. It's much like an entry level employee that you're coming in that you think on day two is going to give you a dissertation on the values and the pillars of communication within your brand and your organization. Ain't going to happen because they're too fresh. So, my challenge to you folks out there is to look at AI as an intern or as an entry level person that is coming into your company or your life that you have to train up to your level. So, what does that mean? Do I have to tell it my height, my weight, my blood type? No, you don't have to do that. You have to tell it like you would tell and instruct a new employee what you're looking for. What is the quality of the content that you want it to work with? What is the output should look like? Do you want lots of details? What type of language do you use? Is it formal? Is it non-formal? Is it businesslike? Is it snarky? Is it sarcastic? All of these things are really paramount for you to be able to get output that is on brand, that is on target for what you need to do to reach your audience. So, how do you do that? What you do is think about the good old SOP. Oh gosh, nothing like an SOP. Basically, a written out process that has every single step of the process fully written out. I like to think about dealing with my AI assistant when I'm training them because I'm constantly training them, by the way. So I don't have one AI tool that I use for every single one of my clients, every single area of my business, just the Chris universe AI. No, that sucks. It's a terrible idea. You don't want to do that. You want to have a specific AI tool that you utilize for every different function because you have to train it as to what you want. So if I'm going to be onboarding a new account manager in the Go agency or new financial or finance person, am I going to train them the same way? Yes and no would be the answer, right? Because they both need to know the ethics that are involved, our view on customer service, our view on honesty, being straightforward, being direct, like things that are on brand for me and for my agency, because obviously my agency is an extension of me. So I want it to be no bullshit. I want it to be direct. I don't want to be dancing around topics. I don't want to muddy down results or do look over here with a really high stat when everything else is falling. I want to be honest. I want to approach things directly. So I need the finance person and the account manager to understand that. But that is where the similarities may die because I have to talk about what sort of reports that I want from finance, what the day-to-day is expected of them, what type of client interactions and invoices, what they should look like, how things should be prepared. Now, an account manager wouldn't have to deal with any of that. They would have to deal with how to communicate campaigns, how to make the content and campaigns easy for the client to understand and engage with so we can collaborate. So there's different ways of doing that. Plus, the outputs are different. Both sides could have reports, but they're going to be done differently. Because when you're looking at a financial report or you're looking at a social media report, there's two different mindsets at play there. So why would I just ask a general AI to, hey, give me a financial report about this, or hey, give me a social media report? You need to have more skin in that game. So look at your AI assistant as an assistant. Read what it's giving you. Evaluate what it's giving you. What would you do with that intern? What would you do with the entry-level person? And I say entry-level versus intern because intern generally involves education. So it's a little bit more of a ham-fisted, heavy-handed education. Whereas with a entry-level employee, that's going to be full-time, that's going to get healthcare, that's going to get all the perks of the business and brand, you expect a little bit more. So maybe you're still going to give them that training, but you're going to expect them to get it up and retain it and get it. Whereas the intern, you might have to remind it. So what happens with your AI assistant is it should go through the natural progression. You should be trying to lift it up, getting it through that learning phase, that intern phase. It's just like puberty. Then you bring them up to that entry-level employee. So you can give them a little bit more because you've taught them how to be a good employee or a good assistant. Then you get the entry-level person and you try to bring them to expert level. Now, does this happen overnight? No. Does it happen in 10 months? That's a little excessive. It can, if you're utilizing this agent every single day, it's going to get better faster. So you have to work it out to see what's going on. Okay, so consistent use. Thanks, Chris. That's a great tip. What else can I do to make this better? You can criticize it. You can provide feedback. So if I said, hey, Johnny the intern, can you do some research on this target market for this new client? They are an international legal practice that focuses on property law. Can you do some research of the 5 biggest property markets in the United States and the interest rates and blah, blah, blah? So I would give that as my instruction. Now, does that give me enough skin in the game to get exactly what I want? Not really, because I'm not providing what the format should be of what that data is going to be presented back to me, meaning that it's up to the intern to figure out how to present it. But the intern doesn't know me. The intern doesn't know my brand enough. The intern doesn't understand what I like. So you tell the AI what you would like. Is there a report that has been done previously that maybe you had a consultant in that did a really cool analysis for you that you loved? You're like, God, I'm just going to get an intern and just copy that. Add that structure into your AI when you're creating your prompt and say, hey, here's an example of the output of what I would like it to look like. Please add original information and blah, 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 whatever else you want to do. When you send that, when that comes back to you, now what's happened is you set the precedent as to what you will accept. So I know I've set that project out, and now I know what I should be getting. And then I look at the output, and I don't like how these titles are. Why is there an emoji every sentence? These sentences are all fragments. Also, there's no links to substantiate any of the claims. So what do? I'm ridiculous, but I use Notepad a lot. So if you use stickies on your computer, whatever, what I do is when I'm reviewing something from ChatGPT, I am putting everything in Notepad. The reason why is because in ChatGPT, it all runs together. And if you hit return, it's going to obviously process your query. So we don't want to do that. And I'm a very trigger happy person. So I'm a big return hitter. So Notepad saves my ass. Anyway, I go in there and I put all of the things that I don't like about the output. Okay, I don't like the emojis. I don't like the titles. I think the language is very elementary. This doesn't seem like this is written by someone that understands how to do research. I want all of these claims substantiated with links and citations. Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. And then you send it over and you get it back. you review it again. Now you're thinking like, Jesus, why do I even freaking use this GPT shit if I have to keep going back and forth and doing it? Hello, this is how it works. This is how it works, right? So this is the truth. The truth is that you have to tell it, no, honey, it's wrong. Do it with someone that you're trying to train up and lift up, whether it be through a consulting position or someone that is just new to your organization and learning the ropes. You have to tell them what you expect and what your expectations are. So really important to make sure that you're adding that detail in and that feedback. So the next time that you go into that financial, or maybe it's a research module that you created, you can go back into a custom GPT or that same chat that you have in your history and ask it to do something very similar, or maybe something adjacent. Hey, what would be great is if we were able to get a graphical analysis or a visualization of the data in section 3 of the piece above. I would like it to be in yellow, and I'd like it to be a bar graph, not a line graph. That's very specific, right? Because I know what I want to see. What I don't want is I don't want AI to try to tell me something that I already know to be true. I want to tell it what I know and what I want, and for it to enhance it and make my life easier. It's not like The Secret on speed. This is basically an assistant that's really smart that you can train and get better. So what I would suggest is that if you are going to be utilizing AI, you need to think about it as something that you need to lift up, something that you need to really invest into. So don't just think it's going to be that easy, quick answer. Okay. Are you on the free version of ChatGPT? If you are, I believe that currently, and this changes every single day, we're in the digital world, people, but I'm looking at the date mark of this if you're going to fact check me. But currently, on the free version of Chat, that's everything up until 2021. So 2021, we're in 2025. So it's missing 4 years of data. So currently, I believe if you ask the free version of GPT who the president is, it's going to give you who the president was 4 years ago, which makes me question some of the data, right? Yeah, you should be questioning everything it gives you because you don't know. Why would you ever just hire somebody to give you hire a consultant that you've never met, you've never vetted, and just say, give me a detailed analysis of my business, get it, and go, this is it. No, what happens is with GPTs, now people will be like, oh my God, I can write like a blog in 5 seconds. Oh my God, that's awesome. And the problem is not the speed, but it's that the AI is underdeveloped. So you don't really understand, it doesn't understand you. It doesn't understand what you're trying to get to. It's just trying to do its best to please you, which is nice. Who doesn't like to someone to be like a people pleaser? But at the same time, people pleasers can be annoying if they don't have enough connection to what's actually happening with you. So you need to give it that connective tissue so that it can move forward. But then you've got to read, you've got to evaluate. You have to be the editor. Anytime people say, hey, you spread yourself too thin, you have to delegate. What does delegation mean? You're going to have a little bit less stress up front, but it's going to be on the back end because you're going to have to review. You're going to have to evaluate. And you're going to have to sometimes tell people that the work isn't up to snuff and it's not right or they're incorrect, which isn't fun. Delegation is great in theory, but it's a pain in the ass. But let's be honest, right? I'm not lying to you here. You still have to review things. So now you're just going to replace the whole friggin' process with this AI tool and forget everything that you ever learned and just suddenly think that you can go like on a sailing holiday in Croatia because you wrote 5 blogs in 30 seconds. Hey, your blogs are shit. They don't sound like you. They're off target. And most of the information is probably incorrect. Just closing out Asana tasks is not a goal in a day. It's to finish with quality and garbage in, garbage out. So if you are not giving enough TLC to your AI tool, you ain't gonna get shit. You're gonna get something that's okay. And then what happens is we are rational people, so we try to rationalize results. So what happens is you skim because now you have another thing that you can skim through, much like your social profiles, maybe your emails. How many times have you emailed, texted, or sent something to somebody and they missed a key point in what you said? It's because this is how we are now as a society. We're missing little details. But if you want to use an AI tool that's tied directly to you or your client's reputation, you need to be checking. You need to be giving the feedback back to it. When I do AI tools, when I'm contracted to build them, because I can build ones that help with RFPs, help with customer service, that type of thing. It's fun. I like it because to do that, I have to go through a problem solving process with key members of that company, which kind of uncovers some stuff. And I'm a marketing nerd. I get a high off of that. It's like a nice dopamine hit. And you just need to be prepared to review the content, to really give it prompts that are thoughtful, and not just think that everything is going to be perfect. Because saving time is a wonderful thing, but saving time and creating nothing, it just doesn't really resonate for me. So that is my big precursor to our next little tips section here. If you are using AI, don't treat it as the expert that your new CMO that comes in and, oh, they know everything. Hopefully the person that has that title and goes in has like a whole deep bench of experience and has great connections and great results. But then what does ChatGPT have? Where is its bench? What's its knowledge base in you? Nothing. So you have to cultivate it. You have to feed it. You have to lift it up. And I'm telling you, if you do this, it will work and you will be more successful. Now, I have a little piece in between this section and the next section of our show, which is to talk a little bit about prompts. Okay, I told you about a tool that I use on a regular basis. I'm sure there's going to be better versions in the future, but what I'm currently using is something called Prompt Engineer, which is available on the ChatGPT store. What Prompt Engineer really helps you do is once you understand that you need to really reinvest into your AI tool and just develop it, you are going to need prompts that help you execute that. If you're not really great at developing those prompts, that Prompt Engineer app, and there's other out there too. They're custom GPTs, you can find them. Look, sometimes people will throw them into newsletters or what have you, but take a look at them because they are very helpful in helping you understand how you need to communicate to your new assistant. Prompts are, my prompts are like this big, like bigger than the screen that we're looking at right now, or you're listening to. I'm doing big movements with my arms to anyone's listening to the podcast. They're large. Why? Because I don't want to go back and forth with this thing. I have stuff to do. This is supposed to save me time. When I'm going in to utilize any GPT, AI resource, I fully bake what I want beforehand. So I know what I want. This is where people fail when they're like, yeah, I don't need a copywriter anymore. I'm just going to do GPT, do 10 Facebook posts. The reason why the people that you employed did the job as they did was because you trained them. You told them what they want. They did research. They did a lot more to understand who you were than this tool that you're just going to throw in and ask for some Facebook stuff and go, it's about the same stuff. Doesn't matter. Social media is disposable. How many posts have you seen that has a whole bunch of hate because someone made a mistake in how they put it together? You don't want to be that person. Also, you don't want to be the person that's in charge of marketing that now is writing, just like taking things at face value from GPT and then putting it out publicly that's incorrect, that could tarnish your brand and image. So you can't just ask a GPT that doesn't understand who you are or what you want to do anything unless you train it. So the prompts are really helpful because it will help the GPT, in this example, understand how to deal with you, how to help you. Because it's like dogs. Dogs are always there. They want to make their owner proud. They want to help. They just have that need. So does AI. But you need to create rules and you need to create a structure because AI also likes consistency. AI also likes routine, much like your dogs. I'm giving you a lot of different metaphors here, folks, but what I want you to understand is that you need to have the right tools. You need to have the right command. So if I'm dealing with my dog, I have to teach it a command that it understands. And if I give it the command, if I say sit, that's the command. The dog will sit. But if I say, okay, come on, let's get down your legs, down your leg, that's not the command that they learned. So it's the same thing. You have to go out with a very strong command that they understand, that you can say every time that it's going to understand. The prompt engineer, or just the prompt in general, is how you get there. So I really highly suggest that you start playing around with prompt creation. Oh God, another thing I have to do. Gee, this is supposed to save me time. Will you quit crying? This is how you get the juice out of the berry, folks. You don't just sit there and just go, oh, I'm just going to say, oh, give me a proposal. No, dude, that's not how it works. You got to put some more effort into it. And I'm telling you, changing your mindset on how you work on it, and then understanding how to communicate clearly, well thought out prompts or directives that it can work with, will get you further along than just say, hey, I need 5 ideas for marketing ideas this summer. Come on, like that, who cares? That's yeah, here's 5 marketing ideas. I could be a lemonade stand. I could be a multi-billion-dollar company internationally. I could be an Italian textile company. Come on, these are all very specific businesses. So what's the marketing ideas? Smile more. You get me? I'm simplifying this a little bit, but thing is that it's a killer tool, but people are using it incorrectly. And the people that are using it incorrectly could be putting out false information on their blogs that they're not checking because no one's reviewing it, which creates a culture of confusion, which is not where I want to live. So let's look at it this way. Got to train it, and you got to give it good information. Now let's go into the next tip. I'm scratching the surface here, but these are like the key ideas. I hope you're with me on this, because this is really impactful stuff on how you can really squeeze it. Now, when I'm doing work with AI in any way, shape, or form, I like to use multiple different platforms. Okay. So, what platforms do I use as an agency? These are the ones that I'm going to suggest that you look into. And I'm not going to give you a ton, I'm going to give you a couple. And then I'll tell you how I utilize them, and you can think what you think. Try them out. But here's the deal: if your whole life is ChatGPT, wake up. What happens if ChatGPT goes away? I've been in this game too long, and how many things have I seen come and go or be threatened? TikTok's gonna leak it. That's oh my god, it's got an extension. This is like life. Elon bought Twitter, and now it's X. Oh my god, everyone's going away, and they're going to these 45 new platforms. This is just a daily occurrence here, right? So what do I know? You got to diversify, because if you diversify your usage of AI tools, you're going to be cool, because you're going to go with the flow, and you can be very flexible to move from one to the next. So this is going to be my third challenge for you. One, look at AI tools as a trainable employee that you want to invest in and you want to lift up. Two, make sure that, just like with your employees, your directions are clear and you have an output style and expectations set that you can put into a prompt. And third is to diversify your usage of these tools. So the first tool that we all know is ChatGPT. One of the most powerful things about ChatGPT is that it has a really great custom GPT builder that you can use to customize to different specialties that you need. This is 100% free. I am on a paid version. I don't know if it's on the free version, but I wouldn't use the free version. If I was anybody listening to this, I would go for the paid version. It's not that much money, especially if you're using as much as you're using it right now. Come on. The custom GPTs are found from the drop-down menu. You can click around and find it. You can look through some. But what's really cool is that if you go in there, you can create one, and it gives you prompts to help you create your first one. But there's also great tutorials out there. Explore more on that, because ChatGPT is going to be good on the surface, but once you get deeper, it's not going to have the same juice unless you have really well-trained GPTs. A real hot tip, which a lot of you probably already know, is that if you have a bunch of saved searches, going back into one of those saved searches that you've completed and asking it to do another of the same thing is going to be a shortcut than reverse engineering and coming up with a new prompt and starting over. So that's a good shortcut, going into a previous conversation and asking it something similar. Or, for example, I was writing a podcast outline, actually, or a show description for the Bulletproof Marketer. And then I was like, oh, I think this actually sounds like a really great blog. Maybe I can come up with some blog titles. So I went back in there. I said, give me some blog titles so I can start brainstorming. And it gave me some really good ones. And then I was like, huh, what would a social post look like if I was to do something around this topic? And then it gave me examples. Why? Because I've already gone through all of that learning and I'm going back into that same conversation where it understands me and asking it to go further. I'm starting my origination point from zero. Make sense? Again, get in there, play with it. So ChatGPT is great, but custom GPTs through there are really interesting. The next one I wanted to talk to you about is Perplexity. Perplexity, again, has a free, has a paid version. Up to you, boo, whatever you want to do. But I love it for deep research. So do I get it to write me a letter to my ex-client that has emotion and the voice of Christopher Tompkins? No, I'm asking it research questions and it's my research assistant. So what do? I ask it a question using a prompt. So it's not, oh no, I'm leaving ChatGPT. I'm going to forget everything and just use everything like Google. No, if you're using any sort of GPT, you always need to use prompt in order. It's directive, right? They don't know you from anything. Then what's beautiful about Perplexity is that it offers you follow-up questions to prompt you. It also offers links, previews, images, lots of different things that are very useful. There's different levels, much like all of these, of how expert level that you want. I usually reserve my deep dives because they do take a lot of time actually for them to be executed. For projects that really need some really good qualitative data to really dive into. And as a marketer, data is your substantiator for your ideas. So the key to success, I guess you could say, one of them. But yeah, Perplexity does a really great job at that. What's great about the searches on Perplexity is that once you do those searches based off of prompts, like I told you before, good ones, solid ones, what is really useful is the follow-up questions that they provide to you. Now, the follow-up questions are really interesting because they can help you understand how you should be doing follow-up questions, kind of minutia to ChatGPT as well. So it helps you learn. But also, what do you do with that information? If I was doing research and I had to provide it to a client or to one of my team members, I might take the results of that after I substantiated the data and take it into a custom GPT and say, hey, I need to create this into a very quick agenda outline for a client meeting. I want this to be the third section of the meeting. I want to spend 10 minutes on this topic, and I need 3 different visual options on how I can present this data. Here you go. That's pretty direct in terms of what you need. I like to mix it up. So I think Perplexity is a really great research tool. Now, if we're talking about like writing, Claude does take a lot of training because I feel that it gives you right off the bat pretty lofty content that doesn't sound like you at all, unless you were a member of Mensa and on your like 4th PhD. I just feel like it seems a little too learned for a broad audience or even a target audience of your liking. So to shave off that condescending nature, when I use Claude, I really try to be tone forward, meaning when my prompt, I like to talk about my tone a lot. See, what I do is because I write a lot as myself, but I actually write, right? So what I'm doing with these tools, like with Claude, is I'm trying to get a really good structure in place that I can then edit and move around and reshape, or just look at it and then come up with something completely on my own. So it's not basically looking at the output and going, that's perfect. Because you want blogs to be in your own words and in your own voice, not just what's shooting out. But I find has a really great way of communicating that doesn't use bot language, because there is a lot of bot language out there that you'll see. And it'll become more prevalent over time. I'm not giving you examples right now, but this is why I'm telling you, like, it's really important for you to train these tools up. Perplexity needs training. Claude needs training. Chat needs training. All of the other ones that are out there are going to need a little bit of training. Your key is to understand that you need training and then coming up with a prompt that gets you closer to the delivery that you want. Because we're all looking for input and then output. So the output is what I need to be judging. And then understand that's not the final part of the cycle. You need to then judge, provide feedback, and ask for revisions. Then you do that until you get what you want. You get what you want, and then you see what you want to do with it. Sometimes I want to take it and put it into another tool to get another take. Or I want to can I come up with 10 cool marketing ideas based off of this concept? or whatever you want to do. Because again, it's not only for finals, it's for ideation, it's for research, it's for educated guesses, it's for mathematics, it's for so many different things. So with these tools, I gave you three. There's many out there, and there's going to be many more. There's ones that are like Krea, that's Krea, which is great at images. But again, this is one of my favorite stories. I was doing Krea for a client that's a beverage company, and I said I wanted to have a father and a son at the kitchen counter at daytime enjoying a orange juice. And so I said that, and it was the father and the son in a very, very close embrace, cheersing with wine glasses full of orange liquid. So obviously, I can't use that. But what does that tell me? What it doesn't tell me is that tool sucks. It tells me that my prompt isn't exact enough. So I'm giving you this example to show you that there's other tools out there that you can utilize for more than just data. You can use it for video, for images, whatever. But when you have issues with your output, it's your input or lack of direction that is causing it. It's not that, oh, the GPT doesn't know this shit. It does. You just got to give it, you have to like map quest it in the right way so that you can then reverse engineer a good output for yourself. All right, folks. That is a lot of really good AI information. I'm not giving you like a step-by-step process on what you want to do, but I think if we're really looking to recap the high points of what I'm trying to get you to think about is that you need to look at AI as a trainable entity that you have to bring up to speed so that you can then get what you want out of it. Step two, know what you want to get out of it before you get into it. So that's why it's expert operators are the ones that do the best. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but I'm extremely experienced in digital marketing and have lots of success under my belt, but I'm always learning. But I know how to manage staff because I have a team of people. I've had many employees over the 16 years that we've been in business. So I understand what they need and what they don't need. So with AI, I take that learning in and then I find out where the holes are there. And then I patch those over as well. So anyway, you got to know how to create a direction or a prompt that's going to get you the expectation that you want. So you're going to get your output. And then when you get the output, think about what you wanted to get out of it and see if it's there. And if it's not there, ask for it. Ask for revisions. Say on page in section 4, I didn't need any of this. I have no idea where you pulled this information from. Why did you even add this? And it will give you its rationale, and then it will revise it for you so you can see how it's thinking. And you can say, hey, I don't like that rationale. Don't use that in the future. Please go off of what I'm saying, but please lift it up with additional facts and figures that are going to substantiate my claims. Again, see? So you have to work with it and you have to revise it. And then use the right tool for the right job. So if you need research, don't start off with GPT. Maybe start off with Perplexity. You want to write something interesting, or you want to come up with some really cool headlines, or maybe some subject lines or opening first lines for email marketing, go into Claude. And then take what you get in Claude and bring it in GPT, and then take it over here and mix it all up. You don't have to use one tool fully. Diversifying is the way to go forward. Okay. All right. It's a lot of information, but if you want some more help and support, again, hit me up on LinkedIn, Crisco Media. You can find me on LinkedIn, Christopher Tompkins. Also for our website, gosalesandmarketing.com. Again, if you go on there, there'll be a pop-up for the AI ebook, which is pretty killer. It has tons of really cool prompts. So if you want to like really go into prompts and see what they look like without having to go and generate them, I have a gajillion prompts in that ebook that you can try out, or even just see what they look like so you know what you're getting into. Now, when you look at that, I want you to understand that you may think that I'm overcomplicating it. You would be wrong. So I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I want you to know that the longer your prompt and the more information that you provide into it, the closer you're going to be to the end of the process. But if you don't, and you're very general, you have a long road to customize and go back and forth in order to get to your output. So putting the work in up front is my number one tip. Set the expectations of what you want before you ask for it. Because if you're like, just give me a hamburger, and the hamburger comes, and you're like, I didn't want cheese, and I didn't want any mayonnaise, and why is it on this bun? I wanted it on this. You didn't ask for it. You just asked for a hamburger, and this is how we do it. So just make sure that you are adhering to all of those rules. All right, folks, you guys are legends. This is Christopher Tompkins with the Bulletproof Marketer. Until next week, folks, take care.